Hi, this is Mark Harrington from markharrington.com. In this short video, I'm going to apply some SEO principles to a new blog post, and I'm going to use the Yoast SEO plugin on WordPress. Now, to start, I've written up a post, and I have cut and pasted into the post editor. So we'll see here the post. It's called Building Teamwork, and the first principle of Yoast SEO is it requires what they call a focus key phrase. And I have picked this team focus key phrase as being building teamwork. It's not based on any principles of what is the most searched term. It's just the thread that was running through my post as I built up my story. And the story is about what I've been doing. So tracking back over the last few weeks of what I've been doing and the frustrations I've had. It's talking about one of the things that I did over that period of time. I sponsored a friend in the race across America, as a bicycle race, which is all about cycling and teamwork and about the challenges of how a team supports a cyclist. And then it goes on to, so there's a team report and there's the team leader. And then it talks about my experience of building teams, the challenges of working as an internet marketer, which feels the same as a long distance cyclist when you're out there on your own all the time, and how we can build teamwork into internet marketing, and then ultimately how Internet Profits as an organization provides teamwork behind the scenes to help us. So that's where I thought about the theme of building teamwork. So the first principle of writing a blog post is once you've finished it all, is just think about what the contents are and how to crystallize that into a simple focus key phrase. And I literally just pick two. And I will go through all the elements that are required. So the post is written in there. You can see that it has a little bit of structure. I'll come back to what the structure is. And at the bottom of every post, so if you've installed the Yoast SEO plugin, it'll come down at the bottom underneath the post, and it'll ask you to put in your focus key phrase. So my focus key phrase is building teamwork. And then it'll start doing some analysis on there. You'll notice that this face went to a little orange face, because there were a few things that it's not happy about. So I scroll back down to the bottom. The first thing that you need to do is, it says, please provide a meta description by editing the snippet below. If you don't, Google will try to find a relevant part of your post to show in the search results. So we do need to type something into this snippet box. So what is the snippet box approved for? You'll see this is what the article is going to look like, and here I've just done a search in building teamwork, and this is what the snippet is. The snippet is these words. So there's the title, and it's the section of words. So we really want to crystallize what your blog post is about and how it links to your focus key phrase. So I will type one in here. I will pause the video while I do that, and then we will have a look-see. So the process steps is we're going to hit edit snippet. This title page separator site title goes in automatically. The slug will come back to where the slug comes from, but you'll see mine was already lined up as building teamwork. No, we won't come back to doing the slug. When you first put a blog post together, the permalink here, this building teamwork here, that is the slug. That is picked up automatically by WordPress from this title here. So you can, if you type this title in there, it's got your focus key phrase in it, or it'll automatically go on there. If you don't like what is there, you just hit this edit button and you can then edit it. So that is the slug, and the slug is really quite important because that is how a lot of the indexing is achieved. So we're now ready to edit the snippet. I'll pause the video while I type up an edit. So I've now typed into this meta description box a snippet. I've said endurance cycling and internet marketing are quite similar. Dash a lot of solo effort. Achieve better results by building teamwork. A case story. So I have my focus keyword is in the snippet. The snippet is long enough. So we saw that green bar underneath the snippet editor. So now I'm going to go into SEO analysis and go and see what else is related to here. Internal links, and no internal links appear in this page. Make sure you add some. So I'll go do that straight away. I mentioned earlier on that I had written about in a previous blog. In my last blog post, I wrote about two key things. So I'm going to highlight that in my last blog post. I'm going to click this insert editor link. It will allow me to search for one. That is my last one. There is a post called Managing Frustration. You'll see there it says markcarrington.com Managing Frustration. So now I will have a link, an internal link, which goes to, so an internal link says you have enough internal links. I have one internal link going back. Outbound links, I have outbound links. Is in the credits down below. The credits for the images I have linked to where my images came from, so we'll need to make sure you have an outbound link. Key phrase length is fine. Key phrase density has appeared enough times, so it's found 10 times. I've built it in 10 times. Key phrase in the meta description, I've already described it. That was the snippet editor. Meta description length I've already talked about. Previously used key phrase, you've not used this key phrase before, so you do need to vary up your key phrases a bit. The key phrase in the subheading, let's go back to subheadings and talk about that. These are the subheadings over here. Building teamwork is the first subheading. You'll notice that it's in bold. We'll go across here. When you click into there, you can pick the heading. I use heading 3, but you can pick any size heading you want. These are all, and then I've used the subheadings to break up the text. So I have got my key phrase in the subheading. Image alt attributes, good job. I have got my each of my images has an alt attribute. How do we know that? If I go along here, click the image, press the image details, you'll see that it provides alternative text. Alternative text, alt building teamwork is what I've put. So each one of these images has that alt text defined, and then you can do that anytime after you create the image, after you've put the image in, or when you first put it up. Text length is good. Key phrases in the title, the exact match of the key phrase at the beginning of the SEO title, I did that already. Key phrase in the slug, we've already talked about that. So that covers the core elements of SEO. So just linking the focus key phrase, make sure it's used enough times in the article, in the headings, and in the alt images. Now readability is quite important as well. It's not a priority, but it's eventually you learn how to write better articles by going through the readability. Consecutive sentence, the text contains 3 instances where 3 or more sections start with the same word. I don't mind doing that. Subheading distribution, 2 sections of your text are longer than 300 words, so we'll need to use headings to break those up. 6 of the paragraphs contain more than the recommended maximum of 150 words. Sentence length, some of the sentences are a bit long. I'm not too fussed about that, so I think I actually write quite well, but there are certainly some of these sections here are quite long. So if we go to tracking back, how does the skull code look? And I can put a heading in here. I've got a heading in here. This section is about solo ads. Solo ads deliver. I'll put it as a heading 4, so reduce the size of the heading, reduce the number of the article. This next section is about the new co-branded book. So co-branded book coming. And then there's some discussions on investment markets, volatility in markets, and we'll set that up as a heading 4 as well, and that then breaks those posts. I did have them as paragraphs, but it breaks things up a little bit more. I'm not too fussed about this one here, the length of this paragraph, and these are sufficiently broken down the bottom bit, so I will have improved the readability quite a bit. The flash reading ease is, won't worry about too much about that. Passive voice, you're using enough active voice. I always prefer writing actively rather than passively. Transition words, well done, whatever that means, and you press this, it'll tell you how you press that, it'll identify in the text where it all goes. And that's pretty well all I want to worry about. I'm not going to worry about social, not going to worry about advanced. The key is on the SEO. I have a key phrase, I've built it in sufficiently, so I've got a green score here, so I'm ready to go and publish. On the right hand side, I've not talked about this, on the right hand side I have identified a category. The category for this one, this is an internet profits journey, but there are a number of other categories one could apply. This just helps eventually to organize your material in your blog posts, and it also has some pertinence for search engine reviews. The more important one is these tags. I have 2 tags. I've applied 2 tags: the internet marketing, which is an existing one which I've chosen from the most used tags, and teamwork is a new one. And you just, any one you want to put in here, you just put them in, separate them out with commas, hit the add button, and be sure to tag all of your articles. So that then completes the discussion on first level SEO principles using the Yoast plugin on a WordPress blog. Thanks for your attention.